Oh, I'm up to 6,000 followers, 5,900 followers now. Um, I don't know. I don't know. That's cool though. I mean, more people following me around the world than follow me in Rialto. My thing is not. I don't see my house. Maybe I need to restart it. I'll try it again. There we go. I see it's red there. There we go. Perfectamente. All right. So as far as comments, we'll see if they pop up, and then once Judy's normally the first one that logs in. Um, we'll do the sound check. Excuse my voice. I've been talking all day, and then yesterday was a long day. I had 16. I worked 16 hours. Then I worked. Then had an hour and a half off of work. Then I went back to work. But it is what it is. This too shall pass, and I am glad to be here. All right, so 6 o'clock, from 6 o'clock to 6:30, Word in Action. We'll open it up for questions. If you see any questions that I can't see, Brother Brian, let me know. But in the meantime, we got Brother Brian is here, Lady J, uh, my in-house question masters. I appreciate the questions, right? Reverend Archbishop Dr. Darlene Nolan normally has a few questions. So let's get this thing started. What's going on in y'all world? What do you guys have any questions about? I know it could be news, political, biblical. It could be anything whatever is on your mind, because eschatology is anything's on the table. This is your time. I'll get that. Thank you, baby, for Bible study. This is your time. Questions. Make sure you use the microphones. The people were complaining last week because they said they couldn't hear the question. I thought we had the microphones in the. Okay. Well, we'll do a sound check one day and see how loud you actually have to talk, so they can kind of gauge their tonality. So, you had a question though. God used to return the land to Israel. No, I'm trying to search my mind when God returned the land. He- They went into captivity, yes. Not all of them didn't go. They were all not brought into captivity. What they did was, if you look at it in Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, for example, Daniel, what they did was they took the best people from Israel back to their headquarters to indoctrinate them, because they were going to be the intermediaries or the leaders of that nation. Israel stayed in place. The whole population, they didn't just go ahead and grab the whole population and move them. Okay, the only time the whole population moved was during the time of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and then Joseph, when Joseph's father, they all came to Egypt. But after that, they had to go ahead and finish the journey towards the promised land. So once they got into the promised land, everybody didn't leave. Israel didn't have authority. They were not in charge. They were under bondage. But back in those days, the practice was to leave them in place. And then what happened is those people that were in place became the laborers or the slaves to the masters, whether it was the Babylonians, the Assyrians, or the Romans. The Jewish people were now um, slaves in their own country. Does that make sense? So they didn't leave out of their country, and in the Old Testament times. Yes, go ahead. Yeah, there were many times when God restored them back to their freedom, but they were already in their country. Now, when they look in Ezra and you look at those different Bible prophecies where people return, these would have been the leading people that were brought out of Egypt. I mean, brought out of Jerusalem or the Promised Land, and those were coming back. Like in the case of Nehemiah and the people that came with him, Nehemiah would have been on the level of a Daniel or Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So they came back, but when they came back, they were already there. And there will always people there. Now, when Israel came back in 1948 and took sovereignty and reactivated their country, the Jews were already there. They just didn't have a label, title, position, or any authority. They didn't just fly in from all over the world, even though they have Jews all over the world. Now they have more Jews in New York right now than they actually have in Israel. Most people don't know that. But they didn't just start flocking in out from all over, and then they just restarted their country. They restarted their country. As far as them restarting their country, that's all on them because God did all of His work in the Old Testament when it came to Israel. New Testament times, we're supposed to honor the descendants and that world as far as honoring, but as far as us going out of our way to whatever to do with Israel, well, you can take what you want. But as far as the promise of blessing, that blessing was for Abraham, not to Israel. Israel didn't exist when Abraham received his blessings from God. Does that make sense? Abraham was not Israel. And actually, most people don't know this, but Abraham was not even a Jew. Jews were not invented until about 500 years before Christ. But Abraham was not a Jew, huh? No, the Muslims didn't. That's a complete lie. That is a complete lie. Muslims were not invented till many years after Abraham. So, as far as Abraham, the Muslims were invented about 3,000 years after Abraham. Okay, but Muslims came along a few hundred years before Jesus. So, yeah, that's it. Yeah, no. You had other religions, but as far as Islam or Muslim, no, that was about 680. No, that was before Jesus. 680. You had to Google it. But no, that would have been foundational or the seed, but the actual religion itself, no. Muhammad, who received his vision from the angel to write the Quran, that was the starting of what you guys call Islam or Muslim. That started with Muhammad. And Muhammad was a student of the Catholic Church. And he had a white woman that was his sponsor, wife, whatever you want to call it, who gave him the finances to buy an army to go ahead and spread Islam from force. Because he couldn't get anybody to follow his revelation that he supposedly got from God. So when she gave him this army, he just basically went into all these little villages and said, either you convert or you die. And that's how they began to grow and get as powerful as they are today. Okay? Somebody has I can't see the question, so what's the question?
How do we know?
Let me see if I can turn this thing this way or whatever. Nope, it's not turning. No, go ahead and read. I can walk into bubble gum.
How do we know when our lives are aligned with God's command?
How do we know when our lives are in line with God's commands? Well, when your lives are in line with God's commands, then God's directions will work for you. Does that make sense? Well, I hope so. So I'll give you a real good example. My truck, I can press a button that'll maintain lane control, disc control. Then I can press another button, and I can just take my hands off the steering wheel, and my truck will just, and I can punch in my navigation, and my truck will go do that. Okay? So, but every now and then, there's something, either a shadow or something on the road that'll say, put your hands back on the steering wheel. Now, this is Victor Nolan. Personally, my wife's car is the only car I'll sit there and actually take my hands physically off the steering wheel. In my truck, I don't have that much confidence because my truck is made in America. So I don't really have a lot of confidence in American stuff. But anyway, so, but it's got what's called lane control, distance. It'll match the speed of the car in front of you, and it'll actually go to the destination programmed in there. So that car is now subject to the programming of the computer. Now, you can override that with your hand. Same thing as a believer or a man or woman of God. God can say, this is the direction. Matter of fact, my car is weird. My truck, it'll vibrate the seat. Lights will start changing, like bam, 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 bam. You're too close on this side. This is while you're driving. And it's like if you don't change the lane, do a course correction, the car will do it for you. Right? I remember my wife's other car. I didn't know this stuff until her other car she had. We were driving back from San Francisco, I think it was, and the car course corrected. I was like, oh, heck no. So the first thing I did when I got back to down here is I found a way to deprogram that, because I like to be in charge when I'm driving a car. I don't even like riding with people. Okay? So back to Ty's question, you're going to know that your life is in line with God is when God's word is working for you. If God's words or directions are not working for you, then God will do like my car, and you see the warning signs pop up like, put your hands back on the wheel. That's the sound the car makes and it's an artificial sound, but it's like you're getting ready to go into somebody else's lane. My car, this truck out there is so programmed that whenever I put the car in drive or reverse, it does a full 360-degree picture on my dashboard, and then it has if you look in the rearview mirror, it shows you the top of the car. I don't know how it does that. It shows you the whole top of the car, everything around the car, everything behind the car, and if there's nothing in the view of the camera, the car has sensors. So if a car pulls into the parking lot that I didn't see, the car would automatically, and if I don't stop, the car stops. And the car can be from like where I am to where you are. And I'm like, where'd that car come from? Because people just drive crazy. To me, that's kind of, I hate to make it so simplistic, but that's like yielding to God, and God is now able to stop you even when things you can't see, and you just, instead of overriding it, you turn around and like, okay, what did I do wrong? Instead of this dumb car, why does car stop when I don't see anything, right? And again, when I first bought the truck, I didn't know it did all that. It just does it. And so now, my brain will automatically like, what's wrong with this dumb truck? Why is it stopping? And then next thing you know, phew, here comes this person flying behind me in the parking lot doing 30 miles an hour. That would have scratched my truck up or whatever. So, yeah, caused an accident and messed up my schedule. So yes, that would be the best way I know of to know that you're not in the will of God when God's will is not working for you. You're moving against His will. That means you're struggling or you're out of alignment. I think many years ago, I told you guys about one time I had an accident in my car, and the wheels got out of alignment. I was a younger guy, so I didn't know that alignment was about $20, $30 at the time. So I compensated for the bad alignment. So I just started driving like that. And I went through 3 tires. Seriously, what made me go to the tire shop is my sister didn't have anyone to pick her up from the airport. What is that noise? Yeah, I hear it. It ain't my phone, so you go ahead. Oh, okay. So let's get to your question. But anyway, I'm driving, turn the stereo up, and I'm like, yeah! And I was so embarrassed. Sometimes God has to embarrass you for you to go ahead and do what you're supposed to do, and that's what happened. So anyway, Sister Nolan, ask your question so you guys can deal with that.
My question is, still the tabernacle of the, the feast of the tabernacle that people are doing now, building their own shelter or whatever, still worshiping. And one of the main purposes of it was to celebrate the last harvest. What are we harvesting? What's the purpose? I don't get it. You know.
He didn't give you a microphone, so Sister Nolan's asking. Yeah, because some of the people are complaining that they can't hear. So.
Okay, my question was, I see people celebrating the Feast of the Tabernacle, which is Old Testament.
Okay, and we don't have any tabernacles anymore. We have churches.
So they build their own shelter.
Yeah, so why they build their own shelters?
And it's
What-
supposed to be like made of branches on the top or whatever.
But why they build their own shelters?
I don't know why they're building their own shelter, but the purpose is to celebrate the last harvest. One of the purposes was, and to bring you closer to God. Why would you need to sleep in a tent for 7 days now? When Jesus has already came to this earth and descended. What is the purpose? I just want to know what the purpose is.
The purpose is they're religious and they're rejecting the New Testament, New Covenant, and what Jesus accomplished. When Jesus said it is finished, that completed all of that unnecessary religious stuff that people did to remind themselves of God. God will teach you all things according to the Holy Ghost and bring all things to your remembrance. So as far as the tents, they built the tents because at the time there were so many people that came into Jerusalem for that time of convocation. There were not rooms. Just like when Jesus and his family went for the census, they had to come back to Bethlehem. There was not room, so they had to sleep in the manger tent. Check behind everything. Right there, stop. No, you got, right, what's behind there? So that's what happened there. So people now, they taking these customs and these traditions and bringing them forward, and it makes them look as though they are super spiritual, super religious, or something that's number one, they're not. 2, God does not look at it because there's no need for that. Jesus Christ has paid it all. It is finished. Okay? So I don't really pay attention to people on my Facebook page that do that kind of stuff. I don't comment on them. I don't tell them they need Jesus. I just sometimes you just got to let people be who they are and let them figure it out, because God is not hidden somewhere because this is my mindset. If you really want to know the truth is available to you. So don't make any comments to them.
Well, I didn't make any.
And don't let it bother you. Just look at their page and keep skimming and keep moving.
I didn't make any comments, but it's just.
I know it bugs you because it's your friend.
In the Word.
Right.
You're reading so many things, and then now all of a sudden you're coming and twisting.
Yes, you're hitting the nail right on the head. It's twisting, and again, these are your friends, and sometimes we put more emphasis, or we take family making error or mistakes more seriously than we do other people. So if there was a stranger on your Facebook page, TikTok page, that went and stuck a tent on their front yard because they was symbolizing a harvest that they haven't harvested. They went to Slater Brothers and got their food, right? They didn't chop anything. They didn't prepare anything. It came already either frozen in a pack, or you went down to that little section where it says organic or regular. I don't know why people choose to. That's a whole nother message right there. Go buy organic that costs more money. Well, you could have got, right, because have you and you guys ever went to the grocery store? Have you ever noticed that at the organic section, what they call it, is always wet? You ever notice that? You never see those sprayers spray? No, that's only on the organic stuff. What do you think they're spraying? No. No, it's definitely not water. That's why you need to wash your food when you take it home. No, they spray this preservative on this quote unquote organic food to make it keep it looking fresh, because Americans like pretty food. So if it looks like it's kind of shrivelly or whatever, Americans won't buy it. Even though that's the best food to buy to eat, Americans won't buy ugly food. So they spray that stuff. Matter of fact, I was at the Walmart a couple of weeks ago. None of the people at Walmart eat organic food because they have to refill the chemical containers that spray the food. Just side note, just information that I picked up along the way. Had nothing to do with the tabernacle or feast of the tabernacle, but some of you guys just be eating stuff and paying extra money with your gluten-free. Anyway. Yeah, it's good if you want to spend more money for 7-Eleven food. Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, 70, it's all the same food. No, seriously, no, I love Trader Joe's. Okay, I found this out because I used to deliver to Trader Joe's, and the warehouse is right here in Ontario. And all they do is, it'll be a big old, you guys been to a warehouse, and they'll just take all these sandwiches, Whole Foods. Take the same sandwiches, label them, Trader Joe's. Label them, 7-Eleven. And they all Trader Joe's trucks come, Whole Food trucks come, 7-Eleven trucks come, they back up to the door, and they wheel the stuff right into the back of those trucks, and they go deliver them out to the stores. And now you're paying more. Actually, the 7-Eleven food is about the same price as Trader Joe's, but Trader Joe's costs way more than Walmart. But people feel good because they bought this special stuff. I would go to Trader Joe's just for the environment. Those are some of the nicest people on the planet to me. It's Trader Joe's. I love the atmosphere. But no, you're not getting any better food. Okay? What's any other questions? I can't see any.
How do we maintain integrity when temptation is all around?
How do you maintain integrity when temptation is all around? Accountability. I remember I had sisters that used to go here. They would be watching all these movies and TV shows or reading all these romantic books. It's like, why would you involve your mind in things you can't participate in? Okay, go get yourself a Bible. Go be a volunteer somewhere. But why? What I do now, when I'm at home, is I keep my remote control close to me. If I'm watching TV or something I've never seen before, most of the times when I do relax watching TV, I've seen that movie or that show at least 10, 15 times. Because I mainly just watch old Westerns or whatever. But this new stuff that you guys watch, if that remote control ain't right there where my hands can grab it, I'm like. Because if not, you got to see some gay stuff. You got to see people slobbing all over each other, kissing and groping, and I'm like, I don't want to see all that stuff. I just want you guys to get to the scene. So you have to grab the remote control and bypass that stuff. Just get to the killing. but get to the, this ain't got nothing to do with the title of the movie. Why'd y'all put that in there? Okay, I remember back in the old days, they didn't even have naked scenes on the thing. They may have made, they went to the bedroom, they may have made a noise, and your brain filled in the blanks, but you don't have to use your brain these days. They fill in all the blanks for you. So no, you have to learn, you have to bring your own body under subjection just to answer your question, and know what you can handle and what you can't. And listen, like I told this one sister, once you know what you can handle, don't push the limit. Just don't see how far you can get to, closer you can get to the edge before you fall off. Just like, oh, the edge is over there, I ain't going. Learn how to keep your distance. Does that make sense? Because I'm gonna tell you this: the devil is not getting smarter. People are getting weaker. And so before you look up and realize, you're going to be caught up, trapped, and stuck because you just sit there. God gave you the way of escape. He let you know, because you sit up there watching this junk on the movie and you're looking around to see if anybody else is watching you. And if somebody walked in the room, you kind of like, now you want to change the channel? You didn't want to change it. You didn't want to fast forward when you was in there by yourself. No, and then you turn the sound down. I mean, you're doing all kind of stuff when you could just change the channel. Go read a book. Go do some research. Go do something positive. Make sense? They turn the TV because they'll turn the TV down so that people can't hear what they're listening to. And that's an indication that you shouldn't be listening to it. Thank you. God saw it. I remember I used to do a Bible study. I heard you, Brother Brian. I used to do a Bible study in Little Africa over there, actually close to where I work at now. And when the tip of my hood would get to the corner, all the people scattered like it was roaches. The pastor's coming, the pastor's coming, the pastor's coming. They'd be smoking weed, girls laid up on dudes' laps, long legs. I mean, it was like something from some movie scene. I'm not gonna kill him, so you guys go ahead and get him out of here. So that's what happened. Anyway. So what was your question, Brother Brian?
Is it practical to make all of my life decisions based off biblical principles?
Is it practical? Yes. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? In many cases, no. Why? Because our flesh leans to its own understanding, and many times what your flesh desires will override the spirit. And yeah, you guys got to make sure you close all them doors when y'all cleaning up and working in here. So that's what happens is your flesh is strong. There's a scripture that says the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. And I don't care who you are, know your limits. I have what's called as far as images, it's hard for my mind to get images out. So even if I'm watching a movie don't have a bunch of pornography or whatever, when I see the scene getting ready to be grotesque, I close my eyes. I don't want to see it. And then once that scene passes, then I open my eyes back up. And I do that like if I'm watching a movie with my wife, I don't want to disturb her movie. I'll just lay back and look at the ceiling and close my eyes until that scene passes. There's nothing wrong with the scene per se. It's just something I don't want to be visualizing for the next 6 months. My brain is real different. I can be talking to you and start having a conversation from 6 months ago and expect you to be on the same page with me at the same time. I do that a lot with my wife, and she was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, we was talking about this. Yeah, but when was that? So that's how my mind works. Let me see if I can get this thing to, Jay, you don't have any questions? Microphone, please, if it's connected. I'm sorry, because the people will come, they want to hear. Matter of fact, we may do some panels. What is going on? You know, I didn't know. I thought he gave you a microphone. I'm sorry. I do apologize. So what is going on? Let me see here.
So when you are, different situations, different jobs, they don't work out. They're just one after another, things are just not working out.
On the job you're working at, you're having a bunch of different things that's not working out.
You go from one job to the next.
Same thing.
It's just, it works fine for 30, 40 days, and then something happens and that's over with.
Mm-hmm. It's like a pattern. Yes. So, and your question is, what do I need to do when the pattern follows me?
What's going on? I mean, if you're progressing, moving forward, staying positive.
You're not progressing.
Is it a testing of your faith?
No. You-
Perseverance?
No, none of the above. You're not progressing. You have not, you didn't, God does, the way God does not do outcome-based education. You keep on taking the test until you pass the test. So if you don't pass the test here and you go somewhere else, God's going to give you the same test until you pass it, because God is trying to get you somewhere. And so what happens with humans is we've learned how to be so smart and creative and adaptive, and we got resumes like, you know what, this is not working in my spirit, and then we take off and go. And God was doing a couple of things. He was working on you while you were there, but He's also 99% of the times He's working on somebody by your presence being there. My current job that I'm working at now, working with Sam's Club and Walmart, the first 3 weeks I just butted heads with all the management people, because again, I was operations manager for 20 something years, right? So I'm in there and I'm working with people that's my children's age, and they don't have a clue of what they're doing. They don't. It's not just like, and this is my personality. If you have a position or a title, you should be good at what you're doing. I expect these, and I shouldn't have to come in here and be teaching you. So my first few weeks, I was definitely planning on quitting, because I couldn't even let a few hours go by without making suggestions and corrections and recommendations. And these are the dumbest people on the planet. How they get this job, and then the pride comes in, like, I can fix this. I know I can solve this problem. And then I said, you know what, I'm just going, since they don't want to listen to me, I'm going to show them the results of doing it the right way. I actually went through all that, and then I said, you know what, that's not right either. And so I struggled, and I said, well, you know what, maybe I need to just quit and go somewhere where I can my skills can be appreciated. That's how I said it. I can go where my skills can be appreciated, and I can go out here and be a help to, when I'm working somewhere, my mindset is I want to be a help, not a hindrance. And don't look at me like I'm some type of enemy. I'm not the enemy. I volunteered to work here. I don't have to work here. So long story short, I had to pray about it. My wife, they have a prayer call every Tuesday night, and a lot of people, they pray for me. And I said, you know what, God gave me the revelation is you need to stay right there until you get better. I'm like, I need to get better? You have to stay right there till you get better. And so now, all the people that was working my nerves, they're getting better. The employees are running to me to ask questions so they can get better. Because what happens is this: the Bible says your gifts will make room for you and bring you before great men. So now God is now bringing me in, and I'm like, every single day I'm answering questions, solving problems. I'm not the operations manager. These people have been there longer than I have. But guess what? God put me there. Now it opens up doors, and now they're asking me other questions. There's something different about you. So now I get a chance to talk to them about Jesus. That wouldn't have happened if I would have just said, you know what, let me update my resume. Because I did call the recruiting office. I said, you know what, this is not a fit. Look at my resume. Just look around and see if you have any other openings that you can utilize my resume in. I actually did all that. They didn't even respond. They didn't even respond at all. I'm like, I dare you to have the audacity not to even respond to me. But again, God was doing the work. And God was humbling Victor Nolan because after a while, you thinking you're really good. And I am, but all my goodness, quote unquote, comes from God. It ain't had nothing to do with Victor. And so now I'm more effective, I'm more efficient. I came back on the other day, I got off real early. I mean, I only worked 9 hours. That's a short day for me. And as I was coming to the office to turn in some paperwork, my boss is running out of the office with the biggest smile on his face. Hey, Victor, I never get to see you. You're always, I say, well, honestly, he's already gone. By the time I get back, he's already been gone 5 hours. He just had the biggest smile. Here, I have this for you, and I have this for you. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And I gave him the biggest smile. How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. All right. And so his whole, you can look at his text messages, the way his interaction is changing. So now they're getting better. The people that's in our office that used to look like to me, when I first got there, I just saw trailer park, rednecks, crackers, all the stuff, all the stereotypes. That's what I saw, and they had all the mannerisms. Now, if I had responded to them in what they're presented, I wouldn't have the opportunity now to minister to them. So now everybody done toned down. When I walk into the office, hi, Mr. Victor. How's your day? And now not only do they treat me differently, but they treat all the other people. The atmosphere has changed. So I said all that to say that sometimes God will leave us uncomfortable until we make the difference that God sent us there to make, right? Right. We have to be uncomfortable. I was, sometimes the lemon has to lose its flavor, or the salt has to use its saltiness, but it changed something while, quote unquote, it was losing. Because if God is using you, you're not losing anything. You're pouring into and increasing. And that's something that I had to deal with, because again, I just thought I was special. I was like, y'all lucky to have me working here. Did that answer your question? So no, no. We are all, think about this and remember this as we get into our Bible study. We are always on assignment, and our assignment is to go out into the world and make disciples out of all men. And like Paul says, I became all things to all men so that I may be able to win some. And so don't go in trying to take over. Go in to help them overcome, to get past, to get over where they are. Because in my experience, what you do to others benefits you, right? You help them improve. Help 5 people get promoted. Start training people for your job. But why would I do that? They're going to replace me. That's okay. God got something better. That's the way God works. God didn't send you there to be the lifelong assistant manager to the manager of the assistant. God sent you there to be in an office in the back making decisions for all the managers and which manager stays and which manager goes. But you can't do that. You can't do that work when you're sitting right next. You're sitting in a cubicle next to the jacked up employee, and when you try to correct them, they be like, "Who is you?" But when your name get on that door, right, and you're no longer the associate supervisor, you're the postmaster, it's a whole different process, right? People talk to my wife differently when she was associate supervisor than when she became the postmaster. And even people that have been knowing her, and sometimes the people that's been knowing you the longest, because somehow she had people, I don't know if they grew up together or she worked with them a long time, but I could tell the body language, they're looking at her like they're talking to the social supervisor. But she's the postmaster, and all the other people are looking at them like, are they postmasters too? No, they were just clerks. But they had familiarity. Like you told me a long time, sometimes, Pastor Nolan, you're just too familiar, you're too available. Well, God made us different. We're supposed to be different. He called us out. We're supposed to be the head, not the tail, above only, not beneath. And with that being said, everywhere you go, you're going to stick out because God didn't send you there to fit in. God sent you there for them to fit into him. Does that make sense? Be agents of change. All right. Yeah, let me get my Bible. And then, did y'all find the cat? Yes? Cool. Thank you. I was like, you know what? I'll handle that. So. Go ahead, Brother Brian.
I guess I had a cooking with Bishop message on the question.
Who did what?
I had a cooking with Bishop question.
Oh, cooking with Bishop. Okay, on a Wednesday, since y'all don't want to do Thursday, I was trying to do a day for you. Anyway, go ahead. What's the question?
He said,
Why do men take so long to get saved in California? Because men, it don't. I had to add that in because it don't take men long to get saved. It probably takes men a long time to get saved in California, because California is a whole different environment. Okay, it's a whole different environment. You have women raising men. You have pastors that are effeminized or have been whatever. They're more like movie stars. And I'm not saying that it just happens in California, because I was in Arkansas a few years ago. Well, it's been 10 years ago now. And a preacher had his nails done. His chair, I'm gonna tell you, his chair was like a throne. He had like lions on it. And then he had, the back of his chair was a good 10 feet up in the air. And that was like his little throne. And they worshiped this guy like he was God's gift to creation. You did what? No. He was a very nice looking young African American, whatever you want to call it. I don't use that term. But I'm like, what is this? And, you know, it's there. But no, it don't take men. And I'm going to share this with you guys. The men don't take long to get right. What happens is women are offering too much assistance. Okay, you have women who have men traits that's solving problems. Stop solving men problems. God did not make women to solve men problems. A woman was created to be the helpmeet. What does that mean? Well, that means I was supposed to help him solve. No. The man solves the problem. All you are there to do is to assist the man while he solves the problem. Okay, in California, I just teasing with you all, but for some reason, Atlanta, California, places where the quote-unquote modern woman has money, power, and somewhere along the line, somebody has convinced a woman who makes $100,000 that has a college degree, and you know she's got all the enhancements, that she's somebody valuable. Not to a man, you're not at all. You may be valuable in your own eyes. Your self-esteem may be great, but there's not a man, not a grown man, that's looking for a woman with a college degree or $100,000 or six-figure income, or that can make decisions. All the billionaires that I know, millionaires I know, their wives look like cheerleaders, and they sound like cheerleaders when they talk. The average black woman would refuse to demean themselves, to talk and act and say, I'm not a trophy, I'm not just a showpiece. Well, to a man you are. If you're more than that, then you're a man, so the man is not going to compete with you, so therefore you're going to be a single woman waiting on a man. So the reason why I believe that men are not being transformed into the men that they should be is because the men the men are competing with the women, and the women are competing with the man for the status of headship, leadership, authority. So that's what I see going on. And as long as you have that dynamic going on, when the man can't lead, be the head, he's not going to seek God, because the only way a man can actually lead a woman, that's actually a woman, a man can lead a female, a man can lead another man, but a man can't lead another woman without the power of the Holy Ghost or God's Spirit. So he don't need the power of God to deal with females or another man. Another man, you just fight him. A female, you just give her what she wants, and that's basically all she is a glorified call girl. So that's easy work. There's no emotional connection things you have to do to do that in the world today. With a woman, oh no, you got to have a whole bunch of spiritual leadership. You have to have influence. You got to have a place where they can respect, and all that comes from God. And if the man don't need to get all that, most men are only going to do what's necessary to win, right? And they're not going to compete with a woman that acts like a man. And that's why in the world today, what y'all guys call strong black women, the modern black women tend to be single. Right now, I would say a good 75% of women that make over $100,000 a year with a bachelor's or master's degree will probably never get married. If they do, they'll have a man like Oprah Winfrey, a paid man, not a real man. Okay, and that's about it. Because a regular man will not deal with a modern woman long term, because it would drive them crazy to have to be looking at a man every time they walk into a place, because it's that competition. And then the women start dressing in a manner that attracts boys and competes with other females, and the man can't stand it. And a lot of women don't understand that a man don't want anybody else to see your curves but him. But women, it goes, oh, this looks good, and they turn it to the side, and they got the hair done and nails done. There is no man that said, "Woo, look at them nails." I was talking about it on Sunday with the hair and all. There is no man like, "Woo, look at that hair. I just got to go meet her." That's on a woman's mind, because they're in the mirror for an hour. Yeah, they be doing that, Sister Janice. And the man don't notice, and then they're in their feelings because he didn't notice. A man ain't looking at that. He's looking for a helpmeet. He's looking for the intellectual stimulation. He don't need physical. You can get that from TV. And so now they're in their feelings so now they got to amp up their game. And guess what happens? Somebody say what? When they walk into a room, the first person that's going to notice them is going to be another woman or a boy. A man going to turn his face to the wall like, I don't want to see all that. That's too much information. Right? It ain't mine. And if it was mine, men like to hide their treasure. Boys like to show off their toys. Unfortunately, many women, they want to be the toy to be showed off, like these cheerleader women that walk around with these billionaires. They're just toys. He don't take them into the business meeting with him. He don't come to her for advice or recommendations. No. So hopefully that answers our question. If you want to be able to create a godly man, you have to be a saved, sanctified, godly woman, and then it's actually God that actually does the work, not the woman. A woman can't raise a man, and a woman can't fix a man. Okay, that's a hard thing for people to gather, because they believe that, yeah, I can fix him. A matter of fact, about 12 years ago, I nicknamed the women like that Bob the Builder women. I don't know if y'all remember those days. I can fix him. Yes, I can. Yes. Yeah, when I get through with him, ooh, he gonna be somebody. No, all you're doing is fattening up the frog for the snake. And then when you get finished being the man to him, a woman's going to come along that's going to catch his attention. Because he just sees you as a man, as a partner in business. He don't see you as a woman. He sees you as a man. And so as soon as he gets successful, that's why as soon as he makes his first $1 million, he leaves that woman that was always there being the man to him, his partner, because he wants a woman. He did what? I don't watch Tyler Perry, so I wouldn't know. He's what? I understand, and most black women they think that way too. They actually, I mean, they're fully like, and then please don't let him leave you and go marry a white girl. Oh Lord, he's just the sorriest, no good scoundrel on the planet. I just invested all of this. No, so he saw you as a man. He didn't see you as a woman. Yes, but the issue is, it's his issue, and if you don't minister to the man according to his issue, you just won't have a man. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. Can't change men. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but how come it was good, so good before, all the time before, but then when he got successful, it wasn't good?
Because you guys were business partners, he saw you as a man, not as a woman. And so as soon as he got to a place where now he can now pick and.
When did he start seeing the lady as a man?
When she started helping, making decisions, giving recommendations, he went away from female woman to business partner man. So here's what happens. Many women, especially when they get a few education, little dollars, they overly volunteer their opinions and their recommendations. Men see that as, oh, what's up, bro? Matter of fact, these days, they call everybody bro now. Bro, what's up, bro? And so, bro, right? So he no longer sees you as this fine, sexy woman that he can take and treasure. He sees you as a partner and as a man. And now that he sees you as a man, he loses all physical attraction. The only thing he's attracted to is your mental, your intellect, and your business capabilities. As soon as he graduates from that level, he's going to find a woman that's just a woman. When he asks her, he asks her the questions, or he gives her the direction, because he's the man, and he feels like he's somebody. Because I was the hero of the day. My wife asked me a question that she didn't know. I mean, you know everything. It's like, why am I here? Yes, ma'am. No, not at all. So what's going to happen is women can raise a good prospect of a man, but the world has to finish the job. And so what happens is this. Many men have what's called delayed manhood because a woman has been there too much. But here's what happens. The son, after a while, becomes the surrogate husband that the woman never had a chance to get. And so she's pouring all this love, affection, and information into somebody that just need to be kicked to the curb and thrown outside. Because boys need to go out and get dirty and get beat up. Women don't like seeing their babies get beat up. And so they have to leave the house to go get the butt whooping that they should have got a long time ago. If it wasn't for the mom, then they would have got their butt beat, and then they would have blended right into the tribe. They would have knew their hierarchy and knew who they are. We have people at our church ain't never got their butt beat. Their mom's been their fighter. And that's why their mannerisms and characteristics are female. And they want to argue, fuss, and fight. Why? Because that's how females solve problems. Men just kill. I know, because again, we're in general, but because if you look at the kind of men that you guys are encountering, you're not encountering actual men, you're encountering men that's been effeminized or have been severely impacted by the influence of a woman. So they tend to be very sensitive, and those they will argue, and they'll quit their job. They won't. They won't protect, cover. Matter of fact, they'll look for you. They'll look to you for support. There are men, quote unquote, that I've seen go borrow money from a woman and don't feel nothing about it. Ask a woman for money. There are men that will ask a woman for money. There are people that came to my wife, men that asked my wife for money. What the hell kind of man are you? Right? But that's been a man that was raised by a woman, and they don't see anything wrong with it. And a mother that's raising a son, I see you, has no problem with my son needs some new socks. I'm going to get my son some socks. No, let him go walk around with some holy socks and let him go figure it out so he can be a man and take care of himself. Does that make sense? I hope so, because, and again, it's no indictment on women, because women do the best they can. That's why I tell all the women I know, I deal with a lot of women, get your son into like basketball, football, get him where he has a coach or a man in his life, or get him to Bible study, get him to youth group, get him around men, where he can now be a man. Put him in boxing, put him in karate, kung fu, somewhere where he's got to come head to head and work out things with a man, so he can develop those interpersonal skills, or being defensive and being able to be controlling and being able to go kill, take over, and take charge. That's what a man's supposed to do. God created men just for that. That's all our job is. All this loving, holding conversation, that's female stuff that women find attractive that God never put into a man. Yes, sir.
I do agree with everything Bishop is saying. I just term it differently. I always say there's a difference in a male
Yes.
and in a man.
Yes, amen. That is true.
Because every quote unquote boy that's birthed is a male. But
Get him a microphone.
every male.
Hold on, sir. Hold on a second. How do you repeat all of that?
So, like I said, I just term it differently, because for me, it makes it a little bit more, it's easier to comprehend if you distinguish between a male and a man, or a female and a woman, because every girl that's born is a female, but every person that has a child is not a mother. You would agree with that? Yeah. So every male, every boy, every male born has the capability of producing, but that doesn't make him a man, which is all the other stuff that Bishop was talking about, the providing and the protecting. And there's, even though society says that we're supposed to become a quote unquote man at 18 or 21 or whatever the case, it's different for every quote unquote male because of upbringing and things of that nature. Like Bishop said, we have an instinct of combat. So if we don't have an outlet to that mimics that in some sense, then it turns into the close person that we are around. We that's who we will combat. I'm sure your son, how old is your son, sister? Okay, he's this generation. So I'm sure when he's playing basketball, he's dealt with a whole bunch of cats that crash out. That's what they say. They call it crash out, because he's better than them. He's better than them. It's not his fault that he's better than you. He probably put in more work than you did. He probably does the things that he's supposed to do to make himself better. You feel just because you're 6'6" or 6'7" that you're automatically going to walk on the basketball court and be good. That's not everybody's case, okay? If I'm 6'7" and you 6'7", but I'm putting in the work and you're not, I'm going to be better than you are. But because he's still a male, he's gonna crash out and get mad about it instead of just like, okay, well, I gotta get better. So unfortunately, that's the generation that we're dealing with in both perspectives, male and female. It's just and now they're flip-flopping. It's flip-flopped. Like Bishop said, most males have a tendency to act like a female now, and all the females are acting like the men or the males. They're the ones that's rousing. They're quick to fight. When I worked for the school district, we broke up more female fights than we did male fights. And I'm talking about talking. Wasn't no talking, wasn't no grabbing hair and, all that extra think that the females was doing. No, these females was on site. Like, and dudes, they the yackers. We walking. Oh, it's boy, male fights. Two boys are fighting over here. Are they swinging? Oh, they just, by the time we get there, they ain't fighting. They're yapping. It's a verbal altercation. But when it's when we hear female fight, oh, we put some pep in our step, because 9 times out of 10 it ain't much talking. That's the way it used to be. It used to be that the men didn't do much talking. It was on site. So, but that's strategic also, though. And I don't know if you know that, but it's very strategic. That's the plan. It's the plan to because that procreation. But we ain't gonna get deep like in that. That's another.
But he said something real key there. It helps the procreation. What's procreation? Is making more life, right? Well, guess what? Once a woman becomes a man, she finds a man very unattractive. Once the woman becomes a man, the man finds the woman very unattractive. So both of y'all are no longer attracted to each other, but y'all want each other. A man does not want a manly woman, and a woman don't really want a feminine man. She just really wants somebody just to listen to and talk to. That's why God made girlfriends, because you don't want your man to be able to sit there with you and talk about your episodes and soap operas and all your day. Okay, I'll give you a real good example. We're gonna move. I understand that. I'm just trying. That's why God give you what's called insight, revelation, and information by the inspiration, not just by the information. Hello, somebody. So I know that's why y'all informational people gonna stay miserable, because you looking for the information, but that has no application without revelation for your situation. Anyway. Yes, but listen. We had to do a couple of verses of Bible studies that y'all tired and turned my Bible study into tea night again. But when just think about this. When when a man walks into the house and you ask a man, "How was your day?" What does a man say? Fine. Or It was a day. Now, he probably he probably wanted to beat up 5 people. He probably almost got ran over. He probably got into it with his boss. A couple of co-workers were tripping. Somebody was trying to flirt with him. All this stuff happened at work. But since he's a man, he conquered it. And he made it back home. Now all he wants to do is forget about that and just get the remote control and for like 30 minutes, just like, let me deprogram my knuckles. Let me uncock my gun. Let me put my knife up. Let me go out of the killer instinct so I can be a man. But many women can't leave it at that. They need details. Right? Details. And they'll do the same thing to their sons. They want details. And you guys don't realize that you're making your son get old real fast, because he don't want to give you the details. He wants to be a man and just say, "Mom, it's fine." Well, what women do? Well, son, I think you should do this, and this is my recommendation, and this will work better for you, and this is what I've been thinking about. He was like, Because he's the son, he can't say no. But everything in his male being just want to slam the phone down and say, I sure wish he would just shut up. But he won't do it because he's a son, right? Man, different. He don't have to take it. He gonna find some corner somewhere to crawl in and hide from you so he does not hurt you. But guess what women do? They'll go find him. Oh, are you okay? I was till you came in here. But he won't say that. You did what? No, I mean, Janet? Huh? He got married to marry a wife, not a man. And y'all got married to marry a man, not a woman. He was marrying a woman. He didn't know he was marrying a man. He thought he was marrying, he don't. He wants to be a man, and he wants to be with a woman, not an advisor or a coach. That makes the man feel like, no, it's not how you ask, but you're seeking more information. Now he's now got to go back. Now he's got to retune his mind back into all the stuff he overcame, because just driving up into the driveway and getting home is like, safe. I made it home. And then as soon as he gets back in the house, he's got to be reactivated back into all that anguish and anxiety that he's just, because you don't know how his boss talked to him, what the people did on his job, the people on the freeway, the police officer, the highway patrol, all this stuff. He ain't telling you all that stuff because that's not your business. You're not supposed to be in his life to help him solve problems. So he's not supposed to be telling you his problems. But the women's mind get curious because they want to know what's going on in their man's life. And he don't want to tell you because he wants you to be pure, clean, innocent. He don't want you to be hardened like him and have to deal with all the hard stuff. A real man won't tell you his problems. A boy will tell you everything. Yes, sir.
Did y'all watch Boys in the Hood?
I didn't watch it. I don't.
I know Bishop probably didn't watch it.
No.
Sister Candace, did you watch Boys in the Hood? Okay. So there's a scene where when what's the boy's name? That's Friday. Lord.
She getting her pictures mixed up. When they was black. Boys in the Hood character. Get back over there, brother. Whose microphone is that? That's all right. Let him keep it, because we need you to get the comments, because I know they comment. I see the little stuff pop. I can't see their words, but they're responding.
So
Yeah.
Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character, I can't remember his name.
Cubic.
Trey, that's his name. It was right after he had the encounter with the police. He had the encounter with the police when the police officer put the gun to his head.
Mm-hmm.
He gets home, or he gets to the girlfriend's house. They're talking, and then he goes into this everything that he wanted to say to that police officer comes out at the house.
It's,
I've done that. I've done that several times where it's like, you know what, I really want to, I want to hit somebody right now, and I know that I can't. So I would walk to his house, and I would get the gloves, and about 45 seconds, especially if you ain't in shape, 45 seconds of hitting that heavy bag and kicking that heavy bag, you so winded that all that built up testosterone has dissipated, and now I can think clearly.
amen. I had but my brother left to go to the army, and so I was left in the house with all these women. I had four sisters still at the house, three sisters at the house, and my mother. And so my backyard was a gym. I would be back there for like 4 hours, just beating the hell out of that bag. And so by the time I came in the house, I was soaking wet, but I was mellow, right? And so because people don't realize what you had to conquer and overcome, and because even if you try to explain it to a woman, they'll be like, it ain't no big deal to lose all your emotions. But you don't realize that disrespect brings you into the kill mode. And a woman, it's like it brings her into conversation mode. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to put female logic in a male mind. And then what happens, this is what happens a lot of times, is the men will diminish your feelings and you diminish theirs. Because I shared with my wife a while back, it's not as easy to kill as you think it is. Because killing the killing part is easy. The living with it is not. So the man has to sit there and struggle with his inner man nature to just say kill, solve, and move forward. But then there's a consequence. I have a wife, I have kids, I have responsibilities. So I can't really just go and respond like a man's supposed to and just solve the problem. Okay, so now you guys said, well, he know what he was getting to. No, he did not. He thought he was marrying a woman, and you thought you was marrying a man. But y'all want to find some like common ground and meet up somewhere in the middle, like in the movies, and y'all can just have this movie. I think, honestly, this is my opinion. I believe television and Hollywood has contaminated the whole two beings because the devil has an agenda. He don't want y'all to procreate. He don't want men to be men and women to be women. So now you have these quiet men and these miserable women because neither one is getting their needs met. If you find a grown man, a regular man, living in the house in California or around modern women, I guarantee you he does not talk much. I guarantee you. He does not talk much because he does not want to kill you, right? And he don't want to tear up. He wants to love, show affection, and be there. But it's difficult because people have mouths and opinions these days. And the last thing a man wants to hear is your mouth and your opinion. But then something's wrong with the man because he's a man. So he's like, well, you know what? It's best for me to just not say anything. So that's why I believe, that's why weed is like a major thing now in California. Most of your dudes are skinny weed smokers because it's best to be high. It's easier just to clam up on that reefer joint or whatever they call it these days. But it could Blackie Mile or that's something different. I don't know. I tried to smoke weed one time and I couldn't handle it. It handled me very well, but I couldn't handle it. But no. Again, I know it's a weird subject, and most of us haven't had it explained. I saw it growing up because I grew up with my great-grandfather, my grandfather, my father, all these men. I saw the full dynamic that a lot of people in America, especially California, didn't have the privilege of watching men and women interact as men and women. We didn't have TV. Back when I was a kid in Alabama, TV was a sin. We had very few people in our family lineage that had television. Very few. Okay, the rest of us, we didn't have TV. They call that the devil's eye. It was a demonic thing, whatever. Well, we learned so much, and TV is not bad. I like TV, but it's got to be careful what you're watching. Again, it's portraying this image. I see you portraying this image that God did not create. God never created a man and a woman to coexist like the ideal marriage that you guys see here in America, because both of you are going to be miserable. A woman was never made to be a man, and a man was never made to be a woman, period. Okay? You guys can try to make it fit, just like any of you guys ever did crossword, those puzzles, and then you got everything, but then you got like 5 pieces left, and you're looking at it, and you can't find the match part, and you're just like, you know what? It fits. Anybody ever did that? I've done that a couple of times. Yeah, that looks, yeah. If you turn your head to a certain angle, you'll even see that little crimped up part that you smashed to make it fit in there. And your culture makes it happen. Just listen, Nolan.
No, somebody had a question.
Yes.
And it says, where did people get the saying, how you got that man is how you gonna keep him?
Where'd they get, that's a whole, I don't have time to do all that, because here's the thing about it. When a woman makes herself available, because here's what I want you to catch this now. A woman does not get, listen please, a woman does not get a man finds a treasure. The Bible says a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. So what happened was, when the man noticed you, you was treasure. Okay, so what they're saying, if you want to just simplify it, is stay treasure. The man will protect, cover, and honor you and keep you. It's like mine. You ever seen a little boy when they finally get it's mine? Right? They don't want to share it with nobody. They don't want to share your smile. They don't want to share your body. They don't want to share your mind. They don't want to share nothing about you with nobody. It's mine. And they'll go hide it or whatever. When the man stops saying this is mine and want to hide it, now it's a clearance rack. And he no longer sees you as treasure. So what they're saying is stay treasure. The same thing it took to get him, you was a treasure, because guess what? Honestly, the way it's supposed to work is a woman is not supposed to be going out to try to get a man in the first place. She's just supposed to be treasure. The man's supposed to find you. All these dating apps, when you're sitting out there, you're not treasure, you're clearance rack. Well, how am I supposed to meet him? Well, you get what you try to meet. You got somebody from a dating app, he's just as long as your dating app. Okay? The best way, this is my opinion. Back in the Bible days, they had arranged marriages. In my opinion, some of your best marriages is with family members that know you and say, you know what, there's somebody I think you should meet. Right? So back when my wife and I first got together, I was not dating my wife, I was dating her family. I was her brother, and all of them used to come over to the house, Jay. I come over there with my little vines, watermelon, and punch. And that was my contribution, because they already had all the food, right? Vines. I used to go to Vines. Yeah, when I first got, Vines was I thought Vines were Vines. What was it? Vines? Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, too. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Those make good straws. If you stick them in something and let them get, yeah. That was back in my day. I don't do that now. But no, that's what they're saying. The same thing it took to get him. So you were treasure. And so if listen to this is amazing. If you really think about it, if you were the treasure, you really didn't do anything for the man to get the man actually found you and sought you out. Right. Yes. So when the man stops looking, you're no longer treasure, you're clearance rack. So now you've brought yourself on the same level as a man, because the devil has us convinced that, well, I'm down here and he's up here, or he's down here and I'm up here. No. God brought the woman out of the side of the man. They're co-equal partners. A man is not greater than a woman is not greater than a man, but we have different roles. And when we come together and operate in our roles, there's nothing that can stop a solid man and a woman connection. Male, female, totally different things. Okay? Males Males can deal with a female, and females can deal with a male. But it takes a woman to deal with a man and a man to deal with a woman, because a man can't handle a female long term. Okay, that's why they have those call girls. Those are females. Okay, a woman cannot handle a male long term, because eventually she's gonna get tired of taking care of somebody else's son. You know what? He gonna come home one day and all this stuff gonna be packed in the bag. She gonna send him back to his mom, because look, I already raised my son, right? I ain't got time to raise you. Not a woman. Females, they'll roll all over the floor like Brother Dave was talking about the women fight. They fight. You find a man that'll fight a woman, that ain't no man, that's a male with a whole bunch of female tendencies. There's nothing inside of a grown man that will make him fight a woman with words or physically, ever. If a man will argue with you, that's not a man, that's a boy. And that boy, I did 4 funerals of women who thought they had a man and it was just a male that wind up killing their behind. And they didn't recognize it. He sit up there watching soap operas with him and TV with him, and they going to get their nails done, and they doing all that stuff. They were bonding and commingling. But as soon as she said something he didn't like, since he was a male, he didn't process it like a man. A man handles it. A man can handle all your insults and still be a man. A boy gonna look for revenge. He gonna act just like a woman, and he never gonna forget. Y'all know y'all got memories like elephants, right? What God gave y'all as a blessing, the devil would turn around and use it as a curse, and now you stuck on a memory from 7 years ago that the man forgot about in 7 seconds. So when you come at him, he's like, you know what I'm talking about, yeah. He's like, no, he honestly don't. Because he processed it, it's not worth killing over, I'm moving on. He's done. You filed it into your database for future reference, and it's to be brought up accordingly as needed, because that's a woman's tendency. But God gave you that ability to now understand and walk alongside of the man according to knowledge and wisdom, and say, oh, you know what? File 18, August 2014, this man can't handle this. So what I'm gonna do as a woman is I'm gonna make sure that this problem right here is dealt with before the man gets home, because I know he can't handle this. But the modern female be saying, you know what? Since he got on my nerves and he hurt me, I'm gonna go find that file 14 and I'm gonna put it out. Because I can't hit him. And he won't comply. So I gotta get him back somehow. So now what the devil does is he takes what God had for a blessing and turns it into a curse. And now you're the one sitting over in the corner and on the couch by yourself, and the man, either if he's still at the house, he ain't talking to you because you hurt him. And the only place he can be vulnerable, or whatever you want to call it, is the last place a man wants to be attacked is in his own house, because that was his safe spot. And then you turn his safe spot and turn it to a war zone. So now he's more comfortable hanging out at the gym with the brothers than hanging out with the treasure. Yes, sir.
I don't want to cause no issues, but then again, to a certain extent, I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But let me, this is my thought process. This is why, what Bishop just said, think about the ABC community. You got
LGBTQYZ. Yeah, they keep on adding letters.
Sorry, Facebook, but you have women who don't want a quote-unquote male. So you turn around and you get a female
That looks like a
who
man.
looks like a man
Well,
and acts like a male.
Mhm.
Vice versa, you got men who don't want to deal female acting, looking, demeanor, male. That's the confusion that the enemy has placed out in the world that has been happening kind of internally, mentally, that is now manifesting physically. Do you understand? You know what
I totally get it. I'm hoping you can keep on, because people say they love what I say, they just don't like my delivery. I know my delivery is rough, but I'm telling you guys, we don't have time to play with. You guys are we're destroying each other for lack of knowledge and wisdom. Because again, just in this little brief time in here, the women in here are convinced that they're totally right. And I'm looking from the, I'm actually trying to teach you all what is right, but it's not making sense. So here's what happened is we'll keep on trying to make sense out of something that's incorrect because women are fixers. That's just in your God gave you all 4 quadrants of your brain to work at one time. A man can only do one thing at a time. That's it. He can't hate you and love you at the same time. Y'all can do that. Man can't. Man cannot. Yes, sir. Women can do that. Women can do. Well, a woman can sit there and be beating the hell out of a man. The baby cries. She can stop beating the man, grab the baby, and say, "Oh, baby, how you doing?" A man can't do that.
No, you said loving you and.
Hating. Yes, a woman can do that. A man cannot. Because once the man moves over to the hate mode, there's no more love. But a woman, there's done. It's a different compartment. That compartment is shut off.
But you said love you and hate you at the same time.
That's a woman can do that. A man can't.
But you brought in the baby, and we're talking about.
I was trying to give you an visual example of how a woman can actually do both at the same time, and then put the baby back to sleep and turn back around and still beat you up some more.
No, I thought you was referring to the man.
No, man can't do that.
I wanted to see how.
Men are single-minded.
A woman was loving you and hating you at the same time.
They can do that. Man can't. Once a man moves you into the hate department or the dismiss department, you are dismissed. There's no tap, 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 let's come. No, it don't work like that for men. Women can do that, men cannot. So my recommendation is to keep them out of those other compartments because, yes, sir.
I appreciate that analogy just that you gave because it clarifies something in my own brain, and I'm gonna speak from my own experience, and B can tell you. When we come here to work, I call Brian. I'm like, look, we gonna do this. All right, we coming to do this. And when I get here, I may start on that, but then I'll see something else, and then I'll get distracted because I can't work on this and that at the same time. I'll start doing something else, and I have to stop and literally say, "Stop, David. Like, stop. Go back over here and finish what you're doing, and then move to the next thing." It's difficult. Like when I go into the pantry to get something, B comes and like looking, because I'm in there like it's bothering me. But I'm not here for the pantry. I'm here to take up the carpet. But because I can't focus on 2 things at the same time, and I'm not even in there for that. I went in there to get something. But because I seen it while I was there, my mind instantly switches from the carpet. Now I'm focused on the pantry, and I've been in there for 5 minutes. And then B comes out like, hey, then I hear, I say, okay. So no, but I honestly didn't understand why it's like that.
That's a man thing. That's a man thing. Let me share this with you all. Let's see your hand. Most men that are married, this is gonna really blow your mind. Most men that are married, when they finally get home, they are so excited to be home. They're so excited to be home. But what happens is when they come into the house, because you guys have all this other stuff going on, it clicks them back into work mode. You see, work mode is kill mode. So now it doesn't matter what you say from that point forward. Now you just put them back. Oh, I got to go to work. So now they're back into work mode that they're trying to escape from. And all you wanted was a hug. Ain't coming. It's the hug that hug that he planned to give you, it just went to the other compartment. Like Dave get distracted. Your body language, y'all like, you say, what? No, because see, a good man that survives in the streets knows how to read body language. And women tend to not be able to hide their feelings in their body language. So when he comes in and sees your body language, it doesn't matter all the romantic plans he had in his head, the body language says, don't even go. Don't. I know, gotta go, Jade. But no, and you'd be like, the women be like, what happened? Right? He's fine. Yeah. I'm saying, you like, hey, how you? But see, your voice said hello, but your eyes and your body language was now on the attack aggressive mode. And so his mind is like, okay, she said hello, but there's a string attached. What's behind her back? She's gonna hit me in the head or something. This is a man. And women don't understand that. I know, thank you. And that's why women gonna always be single and men always be single, because they don't understand that we all have issues. But I'm just trying to tell you how a man responds. A man sees your smile as a setup because of your body language. Because your body, most people don't understand this, your body cannot lie. That's how people, when people go to the police department for interrogation, they ask them the same question over and over and over and over again. Why? Because they got the body language on the camera. They're not listening for the answers. They're looking for the body language. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Now, if you guys are real honest with yourself, there was a lot of stuff in your mind going on before you said hello. Because maybe he didn't take the trash out, or maybe he didn't do something that day, or there was expected. I'm just saying. But here's the thing about it. All of that stuff that maybe he did not do, that you saw he didn't do, that you know he didn't do, it shows up in your body language. But what comes out of your mouth is, hey. He don't hear hey. He hears everything he did wrong coming out of your hey, and he's just waiting on you to just say it.
Okay, what if they said, hey, how you doing? But the body wasn't even nothing to do with you. It might have been something they was dealing with before you got to the house.
Yes. Right. So if any
like Janice said, you assume.
Right. Now, any of y'all seen any old 1950s, 40s movies when the wife was at home? She didn't have to go out in the world and be a man all day. What happened when that husband got home? She ran to the door, welcomed him home with the biggest smile on her face. I don't know. I'm just saying. Back before the world got contaminated.
From what you've been saying, if we run to the door.
No. Because here's what happens. The woman. If you watch Flo on Good Times, I watched that show. Before James came in, she would make sure that she was all fixed up, and she got it all under control. She could have had the worst day, and then. No, listen, I'm trying to help y'all out. You know what? I'm going to share this with y'all. I don't mind y'all fighting me, because I'm just here to help you. I love y'all. But she'll make sure, she'll make sure she controls all of that stuff so that she can present to her husband a woman. I remember one time I was watching Flo on Good Times, and James, he came in, did the regular man thing, and he went back in the room. And then Flo just lost. She said, damn. I'll never forget that scene. But she didn't do that in front of her husband. Hi, James. What you want for dinner? That was her comment to her husband. Okay? What she dealt with Junior, Nene, and Shaniqua, she didn't bring that up to the man. Because when you tell a man the problems, the man now wants to solve the problem. Where's Shaniqua at? Anytime James, when James came home, you know, I ain't talking about, but the James on, talking about the James on good time. Because James ain't even, but I had to make it clear because I go to word and action, people automatically assume I'm talking about them. So don't go tell the man, when the man come in the house, please do not share problems, whether it's from your verbal conversation or from your physical conversation. Yes.
Okay, I ain't never had a headscarf on for the whole day.
A who?
Headscarf. I never had rollers. I never had not dressed. I never had pajamas on all day.
How do we go from rollers in your head to greeting them at the door? Oh, okay.
You know, I make sure we have food, and you know, but I still have other stuff to do. So sometimes I might not even want to say, "Hey, how you doing? I'm tired too."
I totally agree with you. Here's the problem. Women are doing the job of a man and a woman, and that was never in God's intention. So now you all are out there getting the mannerisms, the characteristics of a man, which makes you less attractive to a man. Boys like it, because a boy would love for you to move into your house and let you go to work, let you cook, wash the car. And boy, love that. He'll eat it up. And he'll buy you flowers, take you out to dinner with your money, and drive you to the restaurant. A boy don't mind. All that ideal stuff y'all think y'all want from a man, a boy will give it to you. But a man won't. Because a man he got a world to go out there and conquer and deal with, so you can, the way it's supposed to work is so that the woman can now be the manager in that Proverbs 31 woman to go ahead and take care of the affairs of the house without having to go out there and get into this world and deal with the world. Yes, sir.
So to your example,
Yeah, use your mic.
to your example, when that was the situation when you've been at home, you're doing everything and no, let's see, look.
That body language.
Okay, when that's happening, and I don't know y'all, and Bishop walks in and sees that, does he come over and speak, or does he speak and keep moving?
It depends.
It depends. Why? Because he knows you. The problem with a lot of the relationships are we move too fast. We don't court. We don't court. That's the whole going out and phone conversations and things of that nature. I don't know how you act at the restaurant because we don't ever go to the restaurant during the courting or the dating phase. Right. So therefore now we done got involved, you know what I'm saying? And the first time that we actually go somewhere and you or I through that. I had TV growing up. I
Amen.
didn't have a TV in my room all the time, but we did have TV. You know what I'm saying? So stuff. But when we don't talk that out, when that's not expressed in the courting stage, when there's not enough um, communication, and we jump to the stuff that we ain't supposed to be doing in the first place, which is the physical.
Right.
Now you done messed up the whole situation, because now the physical, now, you know, so.
Yeah, that's good. But you're doing a good job. But so here and I teach people, women all the time. Is this? You can have a PhD. We got to get ready to go to choir rehearsal. You can have a PhD and be the smartest woman on the planet, but you meet a man and you start having sex with him, you're gonna be the biggest dummy in the world, because all of your cognitive, all your skills are gonna be moved from facts to feelings. You make me feel like a natural woman. That's all you care about. I feel good. And so you ignore all that stuff. I remember when my wife, did my father do our wedding or somebody else? He came to the wedding. But anyway, we weren't married yet. We was on our way to get married. And my father, how did he wind up in the car with us? I don't remember.
We picked him up. We ate lunch, and then we had to go take him.
So my father's in the car with us. Since he's my father, I let him sit in the front seat. And me and my wife get into this heated, it wasn't argument, because yeah, but my father just got real quiet because we was having a intense conversation, Sister Janice. Yeah, I wasn't moving 1 inch, and she wasn't either. So she got her arms folded like that. I ain't budging. And my father looked at me, he looked at her and said, "Ooh, y'all gonna be married a long time." And he was like, "Ooh," and he didn't say another word. He just like, okay. He was on Quiet Street all the way to wherever we went to go. He was just talking. He's just so happy for both of us and everything. It was amazing. But I said all that to say this, saints. There's a lot to talk about in this conversation. If we listen to each other, we can grow. But you got to come to the table ready to eat. Don't come to the table full. Okay? Come ready to eat, come ready to learn. And I have no problem explaining. I really don't. I know it's going to sound really confusing because, again, I'm not from California. That's one. I was raised completely by men and women in full family house. Matter of fact, all of my uncles and aunties and all of them there was no single family relationships anywhere in our whole community. That's amazing. There were no apartment buildings. There were no welfare. There was everybody. It was a whole different world. Come to California, it's a totally complete opposite. Single women working all day. Their kids are at home. Most of the trouble we got in is going into other houses because mama was gone all day. Then on the weekends, mama ready to go to the club. And guess what their sons and daughters were doing? They were in there playing house because they knew what time mama getting back from the club. I didn't know about all that stuff. I'm from Alabama. They're doing it nasty, Sister J. I didn't know what that was. They come with, "Hey, where everybody at? Let's go play." They playing, but they not a playing I'm thinking about. So it's a whole different world, so different environment. And again, men and women, and I believe, like Dave was saying, it's very strategic. The devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. He wants us not to understand each other because your best man or your best woman won't be discovered with the current mindset of the modern woman and the milquetoast feminine man. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. The birth rate is dwindling in the black community. You all that like black people as much as I like black people, you want them to prosper and do the best they can do. It's not going to happen if you fighting each other. You need to fight the devil and fight against the world, but not each other. Amen. And that's what happened. Now, as for Sister Nolan, yeah, my wife gets dressed every day. Every single day. And I'm like, "Where are you going?" "I'm nowhere. I just came to hang out with you." Right? She's retired. Why are you getting dressed? I mean, I personally would have a problem with her not jumping up and fixing her hair and do all. I would prefer that she looks like she looks now, but I'm not going to tell her she's got to look that way when I come home from work. That's not in my mindset. I like it, and I like it because she likes it. I don't like it because I like it. Does that make sense? I like what she likes because I'm a man. She don't have to have a certain look or a conversation to be acceptable in my quote-unquote world. It doesn't work that way, okay? But when you are led by God and you honor and respect each other, you meet each other where you're all at. I know for sure there are many days when I just want to fight and kill and destroy. When I walk in the house, I can feel in my spirit, because God has given me discernment, my wife wants to have like a 30, 45-minute conversation. I can tell it when I walk in the door, but I can't do it. I can't. I said, I can't do this. But I don't sit there and go through a whole shopping list of all the things I had to conquer and overcome before I got to the house. I don't do that, because a man don't put his burdens on his woman. That's not the way it's supposed to work. Your man coming home and pouring out all his burdens on you, that's not a man. Okay? You deal with that with your brothers, and you deal with that with your boxing bag in the backyard, and you don't bring that to your wife. So if I'm not ready to just like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm working on it. I wish I could just put it in a different compartment and just come in and cross my leg and say, tell me all about your day. Yes, I'm here to listen. On TV, that works. But in real life, it doesn't. Because in real life, you're dealing with real devils, real demons, and real problems. And until we figure out, say, you know what, I'm going to share this with you, and we're going to close for real. If you have a husband that's a man, give him just 30 minutes. When he walks in, just stay away from him from 30 minutes. Just give him 30 minutes, and then when it's time, when the 30 minutes is over, when you walk in the room, don't say anything. Just come and sit next to him and smile. Huh? Sometimes my wife would just walk in the room and just lay her hand on my leg or my shoulder. That's it. No words, just lay her hand there. That right there takes me out of the kill mode and puts me into the husband mode. Okay? Now we can have now we can talk about the movie. I can share what's going on television, and now that opens up lines of communication. But the average woman these days don't understand that when a man is sitting there with that remote control, he's actually doing something. And the woman's mind, oh, you ain't doing that. Could you grab that basket off the counter? Now he's got to reset. That 30 minutes now has to reset. And every time you come in and stop, he's got to reset, because he got to get that 30 minutes. I know it happens. Y'all laughing because y'all know it's true. But anyway, we're way over time. I love you all. Dave will help with the delivery. So what happens? We're gonna make sure Dave has a microphone so I can share, and then he can just explain it to y'all from the California version. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for this time of fellowship that we were together as we move forward into our praise and worship, and we proceed with our evening. Let your power and your anointing be in and upon us to do your will and your will only. In Jesus' name, amen. Be blessed. Thank you all. Yes.